Back here to U.S. Cellular Field, and we are joined by the Sox scouting director, Nick Hostetler. Thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely, Jason.
I know it's a busy time for you right now. You're in the #1 chair now. How does it feel, by the way? This is your first year spearheading things.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's a different approach. It's a different view of just the overall scouting part of it and running a staff, but at the same time, it's been awesome.
What's your focus with 3 of the top 49 picks?
Yeah, I think for the most part, talking to Rick and Kenny and getting an overall view of where we're headed and a plan, I think for the most part we've addressed the just getting better in the baseball player aspect. You know, getting guys that put the bat on the ball, control the strike zone, guys that throw strikes, pound the zone, make sure we add as many guys like that.
How do you find that? What's the best path to that type of guy?
Yeah, you know, I think using all of our tools, whether it's our scouting eyes, our reports, but also the analytics part of it. We use the numbers. We look at every different piece of the pie that we can to make sure we limit the mistake rate.
A couple of things that you usually hear at this point, and I want to know your philosophy on it. Is it best athlete available? Is it pick for need when you have the 10th pick and then the 26th pick?
Yeah, we go best player available. You know, we don't want to start picking for need that high. It's a long season with a lot of different aspects that could come into play for those players that are in our minor leagues and their development. So we never want to pick for need and short ourselves on the ability of the player that was there we passed up.
Okay, so in the top 30 picks, the one position that there doesn't appear to be a whole lot of is the same position there doesn't appear to be a whole lot of in the major leagues, and that's catching.
Yeah.
But there's a real big, real good hitter that's sitting rated at 15, but I think you might rate him a little bit higher than that. How do you like Zach Collins?
He's a good player. Really controls the strike zone well. You know, left-handed power that has the ability to hit in the middle of the order. A solid catch and throw guy, and you know, he's a definite guy that we would for sure look at.
And your philosophy about high school pitchers as high as the 10th pick, because there's going to be, I mean, there's some really good high school pitchers. Riley Pint is really good. Jason Groom has great stuff, as you know. I don't have to tell you about the quality of these guys, but there's a lot of high school guys that are going to go in the first round. What's your philosophy of that? You
know, this year's probably the best high school pitching year in a while, and just pure stuff-wise, these guys have electric arms. It would be we wouldn't be doing ourselves any favors by not looking at those guys and considering those players. We've evaluated them. They're on our board. They're stacked up with the rest of the guys, and there's a few of those high school arms that are up there in that mix.
You getting a whole lot of sleep lately?
No. I think about an hour and a half last night, and I, as much as I try to sleep and do everything that the little cards on the Marriott pillows tell you how to sleep, it's not working.
Well, the cards don't say, hey, don't have draft day come up.
Exactly.
If you're the scouting director.
Exactly.
The question I have for you see a lot is there's a line drive to shortstop, and Rollins is on it, so 2 down for the Nationals in the inning. How do you evaluate psychologically these players? You can watch a lot of film, but you don't get to know them up here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and this goes to a credit to our scouting staff. Our area scouts, our supervisors, cross-checkers, they are diligent on the makeup, the mental aspect, as well as off the field and on the field of these players. I have been extremely pleased with the efforts that our staff has put in getting to know these guys on and off the field. They've done a terrific job. We have makeup profiles that we look at, and we cover everything from their social media page to what they do in school and the people they interact with. But I can't say enough about our scouts and the efforts they put in getting to know these kids.
What's the breakdown of your day tomorrow? What's draft day like for you?
I'm actually letting the guys sleep in a little bit. We're going to get in about noon and have some lunch, and then from the time that I say wake up, which I'm not sure if I'm going to go to sleep, but it'll be telephone calls with agents and other clubs trying to figure out who's going in front of us and available. But once we get in here at noon and start pouring over everything, putting all of the stuff together, then it's just sit and wait and bite your fingernails.
And the first pick is at what time?
I think it's like 6:08 Central Time. I think our first pick is at 6:48.
Everybody wants to talk about the #1 draft pick, the #2 draft pick, or all the picks you might have in the first round or second round. But you get a lot of talent from about the 8th round on down. And so let's say from 8 to 15, what are you looking for as far as playability, but also you talked about the psychological aspect. What are you looking for out of a player from 8 to 15?
You know, we're looking at that point. There's certain times where you try to find guys that can do certain things. Whether it's a left-handed specialist that we could maybe move quickly and get here, or this is a guy that could play the middle of the infield. And a lot of times, when I first started scouting, a guy by the name of Paul Snyder, who's a Hall of Fame scout, said to me, you got to take some suspects to play with the prospects, and sometimes those suspects turn into prospects. And those guys fit that role, in that role. And, you know, I think that when we really get into the makeup, we really get deep down into these kids, we see what drives these kids that may have been passed over, and those are the types of guys that end up making it here in Chicago.
Well, what do you think about real short right-handed starters who are picked in the 16th round? You like their prospects?
Sounds very personal.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if there was any meaning or motive behind that.
Oh, no. There's nothing attached to that.
Yeah, no, you know what? It's funny because you sit there and you look for the big, tall, strong guy, and it's like, sometimes those small guys, they make it and become Cy Young winners.
Well, I came to the wrong booth for the big, tall, strong guy, by the way.
I was fortunate that they went to Kent State to look at Thurman Munson and saw me by accident, so eventually got picked.
That's perfect.
Fly ball. Before you go, do you have somebody in mind for 10? That's number 1 on your board?
I do. I think we're going to get him.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, Jason.
Nick Hostetler, Sox Director of Scouting, here with us. He'll join us, we hope, tomorrow night as well to talk about that first pick, 7-0 Nationals lead.